Hello everybody, welcome. A lot of you are probably very familiar with the concept of decluttering. Basically going through a certain part of your makeup collection, be it foundation, concealer, mascara, and really weeding out the things that you don't like as much. Really making sure that what's left is a selection of items that you really enjoy and that you use. Decluttering is something that has resulted in so much content on YouTube. I, for one, have produced several decluttering related videos that a lot of you probably have already seen. I love decluttering. However, I do think that there are several aspects to decluttering that are not always the most positive. And I want to shine a light on the negative aspects of decluttering in this video so we can really look at decluttering as something that can really benefit us. Because as you will see in this video, sometimes when we declutter, it isn't always as beneficial as it seems. But once you watch this video, you'll be able to acknowledge the slightly more negative aspects of decluttering, eliminate them, and move forward in a better mindset of what decluttering really is and how it can benefit you. One of the aspects of decluttering that nobody really talks about that much is, in so many cases, decluttering has a tendency to encourage increased makeup circulation. You declutter, you add more to your collection because you feel like you have that validation because you already got rid of so many items. Now, this is actually something that I see a lot of, and I especially see it on YouTube. It is becoming so trendy and so, I would say, a really big it factor to spend a certain amount of time decluttering your makeup collection every, say, few months or every year or so. People are really hungry for that, and people want to see those kinds of videos. People also want to experience this kind of decluttering phenomenon. People want to be able to look through their collection and weed out the items they're not using anymore and hopefully give them to either a individual who will care about those items more, donate those items, or even throw them away if they've become expired. But I feel like in so many instances, whenever somebody declutters a certain part of their makeup collection and they say get rid of a third of their items in that certain category in the makeup collection, they are, I would say, validating the idea of going out and buying a brand new item or several brand new items.
Later, in the void.
I'm back. But yes, I do believe that it's natural to, when you want to get more things, to be able to validate that by decluttering part of your makeup collection to make room for something new. Okay, go.
One extremely annoying shift later.
When it tends to go wrong is when one starts using decluttering as an excuse to get still more makeup. Then decluttering becomes a little bit pointless, and we're going to talk about that more in this video. But that's one of the first ways that decluttering can become a little bit of a negative aspect, when decluttering does encourage consumerism. And for me, whenever I declutter, I try and stay away from that. And if I didn't recognize this aspect about decluttering, you would probably find me going out and buying new makeup just as soon as I'm done decluttering. Because yes, sometimes we want new things. However, using decluttering as an excuse to get new things is where I think it becomes a little bit, I would say, counterintuitive. That's just something to take note of. I mean, of course, it depends on how much makeup you actually want to have in your collection. If you want a whole bunch of makeup, that is totally fine. But if you actually if you want to declutter as a method to escape this large amount of makeup in your collection, then I would say you really have to watch yourself, because if you don't watch yourself, then say in 3 months, 6 months, you'll find yourself with the same amount of makeup as you had before, if not more. The next thing that I want to talk about is that decluttering does have the potential to cost you money. This is going back to my previous point, but when you declutter, a lot of the natural tendency goes to spending more money on more items because you feel validated to spend more money on more makeup items because you just decluttered. But when that happens, you spend more money on makeup. And yes, sometimes it's unavoidable. If you declutter a whole bunch and you buy, say, 1 or 2 items that you really like, but you decluttered a whole bunch of makeup, that's inevitable. But my point is to really make sure that everything that you're buying for your makeup collection adds value to your collection and that you're using a strategy that works for you to buy makeup. When we don't see tangible proof that we've purchased a certain item right in front of us, it's easy to forget that we spent that money at all, especially if we've already decluttered that item that we spent money on. So if we go out and we spend the same amount of money, if not more, on another item, then we inherently are spending more money. But something that we don't really talk about that much on this channel that we really should talk about more is using a strategy when you're decluttering as well. Make sure that you already have a set of criteria in your head that you're able to apply to certain products. Is there a product that you absolutely hate? If there is, declutter that. However, if there's a product that's just subpar or that works pretty well but isn't amazing, you probably might want to think twice about decluttering that. Is there a way you can make that product work for you? Is there a possibility that that product isn't as bad as you thought it was? Is there a different way you can use it? And I'm saying this because if you aren't a makeup influencer, or if you aren't a beauty guru, or if you aren't using your makeup to make money, you're losing money when you buy makeup. I, for one, consider myself a pretty average makeup consumer because yes, I have a YouTube channel, but I'm not making any money off of this YouTube channel right now. So whenever I buy makeup, I'm losing money because yes, I'm featuring it on my channel, but as it stands, I'm not making any money from this channel at the moment. Somebody else who might have their channel monetized or might be getting sponsorships or anything of that nature might be making money from their channel or might be making more money from their channel, so they're able to use this intake of product to make themselves and their channel more money. So for me, whenever I look at decluttering, I look at decluttering as a way to get rid of the really bad stuff. But if I have something that I could tweak a little bit or I could just make work for me, chances are I'm gonna try and keep that item because I know that I spent money on that item. And yes, if it's super terrible, I'm gonna get rid of it. But if I can make it work for me, and if it's still not taking up too much room in my makeup collection, there's really no need for me to declutter it because my lifestyle, my makeup purchasing habits don't necessarily make me money. I end up losing money when I buy makeup. So yes, that was a very long-winded point, but that's food for thought. Decluttering can, in essence, make you lose money, unless you're somebody who's actually able to make money off of your makeup. If you're that person, then of course this point might not apply to you. But if you're like an average person who just loves makeup, if you're like me and you don't really make any money from your makeup, then chances are decluttering might actually cost you money. The next thing is that decluttering is a waste of resources. And that's my environmentalist side of my brain talking, but yes, decluttering is a waste of resources. When resources were spent on making this product, on making the packaging, on sourcing the ingredients, and you just declutter it, and then you buy more and you declutter that, and you buy more and you declutter that, you're wasting resources. And that's not to say that you shouldn't declutter or that you shouldn't buy makeup, but that's also something to think about. When you declutter, you're throwing something away. And when you're throwing something away, you are wasting the resources that went into that product to produce it. We should be cautious and we should be cognizant of the fact that whenever we contribute to this circulation of makeup products, we are inherently wasting or spending rather a certain amount of resources, and it's important to be aware of that. The next point that I want to make, you do have the potential to regret declutters. I could make an entire video about the products that I regret decluttering. Actually, no, that's not quite true. I wouldn't be able to make an entire video, but I have like 5 things that I regret decluttering, and it's not like I have like this burning regret that I decluttered these items. No, but it's kind of like I always think, I could have actually used that item in a certain type of makeup look because, like I said before, style does change. And yes, what works for you at some point might not work for you at another point in your life, or what might have not worked for you initially might really work for your makeup style moving forward. It's just important to realize that yes, decluttering does have the potential to have some sort of regret involved. Not that that should stop you, but that's something to consider. The next thing that I want to talk about is decluttering encourages you to look at makeup as expendable rather than functional. Something that we all tend to forget, especially in this age of social media and really quick turnover when it comes to makeup, is that makeup at its core, like when it was first, I would say, publicized as being a part of daily life, makeup was actually intended to be functional. I mean, we have injected this certain degree of artistry that has a lot to do with makeup, but at its core, makeup is supposed to be functional. We just attach different levels of creativity and artistry and just full on interest to it. And I think that decluttering does, in so many ways, encourage us to look at makeup as being rather expendable. And I think that we should be aware of that, because once we start looking at makeup as expendable, guess what? We start spending more and more money on it. And that actually brings me to my last point. Decluttering helps brands make more money. When you declutter, you are essentially making room in your collection to get more stuff. And brands don't care, I mean, in my opinion at least, brands don't care how long you use an item so long as you buy it in the first place. They charge you a certain amount of money when you first buy that makeup item. And once you spend that money, they're done with you. I mean, until you come and buy the next thing, but really think about it from the brand's perspective, and think about how your decluttering might actually be benefiting brands, because once you declutter makeup items, you've already spent the money, you've already gone to the brand, and you're free to go back again and spend more money and possibly declutter that other thing. And I mean, yeah, I guess on the surface we think, oh yeah, if we declutter something, it's probably because we don't like it as much, and it hurts the brand because brands are supposed to make products that we like, and decluttering means that they failed at that. Well, no, they've not, because they've still made you spend money on them, you know what I mean? These are all points that I am going to try and implement in my declutters. These are all thoughts that I really want to think more about, because yes, I love decluttering. I can spend an entire other video talking about the benefits of decluttering. I think it can really help us out as a society, as individuals. Decluttering is a really great way to really just set yourself free from all this literal baggage that you have in your life. I have found that as I have less items, as I have been able to accumulate less and get rid of more, it has made me live my life in a healthier way. I have been a great deal more happier with my possessions once I've really realized the value of them. Because when you have a lot of possessions, you just start cheapening the value of each and every individual item. But once you don't have so much, and this goes for, in my opinion, every single aspect of life, once you don't have as much, you start valuing what you actually do have. And if I'm decluttering makeup, it actually does cause me to value what I already have in my collection even more. And I made this video not to encourage you to stop decluttering, but to just encourage you to look at the concept of decluttering as something more than what it seems on the surface. Yes, decluttering is so beneficial, and I continue to do it all the time because it can really help me out. But at the same time, we should also take note of these negatives so we can acknowledge them and eliminate them moving forward. Thank you so much for watching till the end of this video. I do hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye guys.